Tonight, the PM in China and straight down to business, a landmark trip to reset relations. Bones found in a burnt-out tree stump, the link to the North Shore murder of a student 23 years ago. Waterspouts and water woes, a soggy Sunday for Sydney and surrounds. Lifesavers in every sense of the word. Teens save a drowning swimmer at Manly. And the Kangaroos' blunt admission about their record loss to New Zealand.
This is 9 News with Peter Overton.
Good evening. Anthony Albanese is tonight in China, the first Australian Prime Minister to visit the country in 7 years. He has just taken off for Beijing after talking trade in Shanghai. Hope now growing that the final restrictions on Australian goods will be lifted, re-establishing billions of dollars of trade and with it, new jobs here.
Sunrise over Shanghai and what both...
Vicky Jardim, 9 News.
It's been a wild end to the weekend. Sydney and surrounds soaked in torrential rain, sparking hundreds of calls for help. But at Lake Macquarie, the weather took a twist. Homes hit by a waterspout.
Fishermen cautiously keeping their distance as a waterspout forms off the Lake Macquarie coast just before 7 this morning.
OK, let's bring in Amber. Which areas received the most rain? Good evening.
Good evening to you, Pete. The heaviest rain today has been concentrated around the Hunter and the North Coast, with 30 to 40 millimetres of rain falling in Ballina, Byron and in Newcastle. Last night, a slow-moving storm dumped 120 millimetres on Evans Head, its wettest November day in 25 years, with around 163,000 lightning strikes in a 400-kilometre radius since midnight. In Sydney, Canterbury had the heaviest rain today, drenched with 38 millimetres. 26 falling in Richmond, 20 in Wahroonga, while in contrast the city only picked up 2 millimetres. It is certainly not the end of the rain, with a week of unsettled weather ahead. I'll be back with a full forecast a little later, Pete.
Amber, thank you. Residents in Sydney's northwest left high and dry, told their properties are now in flood zones. Hear their furious response next. High drama in Hamburg, a hostage situation at a busy airport. Fresh sex assault claims against Russell Brand on the set of a popular movie. And the sharp rise in unidentified foreign satellites circling Earth. How a Sydney startup is keeping watch. Hundreds of residents outraged over the state government's changes to floodplains across the city's northwest.
9 News.
Treating stroke via a video call. It saved Frank's life and could be key to freeing up our hospitals. Details on the high-tech help coming up after sport. Plus, heavy foot traffic at the new WestConnex Rozelle interchange as locals get a first look inside. Roz, the post-mortem begins in the Kangaroos camp.
Pete, they have flown home after the historic loss and the players have admitted they had an attitude problem, while New Zealand deliver a blunt message to rugby league boss Peter Overton. Ashes tensions reignite in India as the Aussies get set for a huge boost, and Eddie Jones' frosty reception in Cardiff.
And we are in for more wet weather this week. I'll tell you how much rain we're expecting shortly.
Science cracking the code to keeping cool.
If we have a really hot summer, our bill could double or triple.
Turning your aircon up, not down.
People are not aware of this solution.
And why it's good news for fans of smaller power bills.
It will save you 70% on your electricity bill for cooling.
9 News, Monday at 6.
It's the Kangaroos' worst loss in rugby league history, and the players admit they were far too complacent before being smashed 30-0 by New Zealand in the Pacific Cup final. The Kiwis now pleading for more test matches on the game's calendar.
The Kiwis celebrating a moment in history.
The veteran overtaking him to finish 9th, just outside of the points. A top of the table clash at the World Cup tonight, Pete. India, South Africa are over on 9Gem.
You've got to go to another studio.
I'm off.
Thank you, Roz. Next on 9 News, an athlete dies at a popular triathlon event. Plus, how stroke patients are being treated via video call. Locals get their bearings inside the new WestConnex Rozelle interchange before it opens. And dubbed Britain's loneliest sheep, the heartwarming rescue of Fiona from a remote cliff. We have news just in. An athlete has died while participating in Queensland's Noosa Triathlon today. The man in his 50s was pulled from the water near the end of the swim leg. The community has been given a first look inside the new WestConnex Rozelle interchange. The long-awaited underground bike. Coming up in the news, Amber with our weather.
Thanks, Pete. We could see a few more showers tonight, easing off by the early hours of the morning. Right now, it's around 17 degrees outside. I'll have your full forecast in just a moment. It was a mostly cloudy day with widespread showers and moderate to fresh southeasterly winds. The heaviest rain fell around Canterbury, Richmond and Wahroonga with between 20 to 40 millimetres, with a widespread 2 to 15 millimetres across the rest of the Sydney Basin. Temperatures were up to 10 degrees cooler than average for November, only reaching 17 degrees in Richmond and Penrith, 19 in Kellyville, Parramatta and Gosford, and 20 degrees in the city, although it felt closer to 15 degrees thanks to that wind chill. We saw rain right across eastern New South Wales today, the heaviest falls along the north coast, only reaching a top of 19 in Bega and Wollongong, 20 in Newcastle and Coffs Harbour, while inland New South Wales was much warmer under sunny skies, reaching 31 in Griffith. Tomorrow, a trough over the east will bring scattered storms and showers to southern Queensland, western New South Wales and central Victoria. Take a look around the country tomorrow, a possible shower on the way for Brisbane, 24, partly cloudy in Canberra, mostly sunny in Melbourne and in Adelaide, warming up to 28 degrees, and a partly cloudy 26 on the way for Perth. Light showers are expected across the northeast once again tomorrow, bringing 1 to 5 millimetres of rain. The rest of the state should stay dry. Warming up along the south coast, heading for a top of 25 in Bega, staying cool along the north coast with a top of just 21 in Coffs Harbour, 22 for Newcastle, while further inland Mudgee is expecting 24 degrees, a warmer 29 in Wagga Wagga. Sydney will be cloudy tomorrow, just the slight chance of a shower with light to moderate easterly winds, heading for tops of just 22 to 24 degrees across our western suburbs, including Kellyville and Liverpool, 20 for Terry Hills and Cronulla, 23 in the city. Let's take a look ahead, and Tuesday will be partly cloudy for Melbourne Cup Day celebrations, 25 degrees, mostly sunny and 27 on Wednesday, partly cloudy on Thursday with possible late showers, a top of 28 degrees, a shower or two on Friday, 27, and then Saturday is looking great, sunny and 28 before a possible shower or two again on Sunday. Those nights warming up for a low of 14 tomorrow night to 19 by this time next week. Let's take a look at our west, and it will warm up to a fine 29 degrees on Tuesday, a possible shower on Wednesday, late showers on Thursday after a top of 30 degrees, a possible storm on Friday, while Saturday will start off sunny before some possible showers move in, Pete.
Amber, thank you. Before we go, here's a quick look at what's in store on tonight's edition of 60 Minutes.
Thanks, Pete. Tonight,
my anti-aging doctor just hands it out.
It's the drug that works for weight loss.
I was over 200 kilos.
But is Ozempic really too good to be true?
Realised she wasn't breathing. No, I never thought you could die from it.
Plus,
but it's the one for the month.
I practically grew up at Graceland.
Exposing the king's secrets.
We kissed for hours.
Leads to suspicious minds.
I was just a baby. I was 14 years old.
That's tonight after the block finale. Back to you, Pete.
Thank you, Tara. I'll have the late news for you at 10:15 tonight. That is 9 News for this Sunday. I'm Peter Overton. I hope you have a good evening. From all of us, good night.